spikes in the collar of the leather jacket, but
You're live.
Well, hi. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Do I need to act like I have egg all over my face? I don't think so. We'll get started. Welcome. It's our 6th session of the Red Star Rising campaign adventure titled The Coldest of Blood. Kind of had a little bit of a hiatus because life got real for all of us. We're adults, but that's okay. We're back, and we're going to enjoy ourselves. So, The Coldest of Blood is designed by Gooey Cube and presented by the Greater Mole Master Beholder Corps, where we hope your minds will be open by wonder. I need to shake the rust off a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
I think we'll all have to do that a bit.
Stand up and do that.
Inconceivable.
Play like kids.
Shake it, Big Daddy.
Shake it. Yeah, kind of fling it off there. We're a program that's powered by the Tabletop Misfits, and playing today are Zane and Mark and
Hello.
Lee.
Hi.
The Mighty Trey. I knew he'd do that. And Chris, our tech master.
Woohoo! Hey,
Yeah, man.
And I am Casey, also known as the emissary of the Great Mother, who does not have his hat on. I'm not sure about that. Oh, we'll see. Nobody can see me anyway, other than the player, so. One of these.
You shall
Talk
be
about that.
excommunicated.
Well, I did post a picture of me with the aberration of which we worship, so if you have a moment, you may check that out. It is quite spectacular, and I loved every moment of it. Anyhow, with that, my aberrations, I ask you, shall we begin?
I
The eyes have it. So, as we put together all we have learned in the past few days, it seems our group of Zatis are growing up much faster than even they had hoped. Time spent with family is sweet, but now the road beckons onward, and we have work to do. So, previously on the Red Star Rising campaign, it was just last night, and there was just a few months in between. Just to kind of give you guys a recap, you guys spent most of the last session actually taking time visiting with friends and family within the troop. You know, those who have parents or are close to someone, which is all of you in one form or another, had an opportunity to talk with your loved ones and rest. It had been a crazy few days. You had longest day ever, followed by a trek through the dark woods where you almost got eaten by wolves and shat upon by creepy caretakers, and
There was a giant turtle too.
there was a giant turtle. That's right, molested by some foul hillbillies, and met something in the attic that looked vaguely similar to somebody who you think would say, "Hey, you got," and learned many things along the way about who you are and who the Hanatas really are. And also along the way, Borag was lost, which was quite impactful upon every single one of you, not the least of which is Theros, his son. His mom is regaining her strength, but she's still in rough shape. And then, of course, Kenna's father, Cray. You've never seen him in such a state where he was as close to death as he was, but he has turned the corner and he's getting better. And so you all had the opportunity to visit and really kind of take in and understand what, or not understand so much as process what has come about over these last few days. And then things wound down. You're on the road to Prondadal. You've crossed over Farley's Bridge. You're coming close to crossing King's Bridge. And there seems to be a storm on the horizon. Things are getting quite cold. It's getting close to the new year. And it's time to rest. And so you've rested. So if you all haven't actually taken the opportunity to take that long rest in your character sheet, you might want to make sure that that's done before we go on today. But
Yes.
just keep that in mind. That's where you're at, and you all wake up to a cold, humid chill in the air. It's overcast and gray outside. There's no snow upon the ground, but all the leaves on the trees have fallen. You're on this road just about to cross the Mirkwood over King's Bridge. You've seen it before. And you awaken to the sounds of those rising outside, making sure they're getting the animals ready to go for travel and just getting the wagons set back on their path to get on the road. And Vest just kind of rousing everybody.
I have typed up some of the recap if you wanted some, but I also have that we have the Animal Brigade starring the reliable Snickerdoodle, our pony, Licking Killer, the Bloodhound, and King Billy, our goat.
All of the pets collected along the way, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, of course.
We must go find more.
And don't forget Groar's new invention, the Dwarven Hero sandwich.
And wasn't there some sort of a buttress weapon of gun of flinging mini fleegan things?
Yeah, but it broke.
Yeah, it broke.
It broke. It came entirely too much for something that broke.
Yep.
I used it twice. Twice, I tell you. It
And
was
it did
only
more
hit
damage
one of
with
those
their
times.
daggers.
cheap material. I want my money back.
Yeah, I'll just read this last paragraph real fast then.
Okay.
Gar is
Okay.
on the spit, looking forward to settling down for the winter, but it is shadowed over by conversations of loss of the Bravda Borag. Across the Wormrest, they close the borders to the Blood Touch and disperse the troops there, dancing and playing Deck of Perilous Fortuity for Fool's Down, and Groar requests a rousing duet of the Paradise by the Buckboard Lights. After a close game of cards, Groar wins at cards. He is offered a stogie, yet turns it down as to not smoke in front of his parents. Good night. We all head up to King's Bridge in the morning. We are told of an elven woman in a tower in the swamp with bewitching powers. Lastly, we are told to keep our magic items, and I wrote that I have silver poof powder.
Poof. Make sure it's poof.
Poof.
Yep. Of course.
Strange
Yeah.
elven women in swamps
Oh,
are not to be trusted.
Casey, there
Yes.
is a feature that I have as a spell dancer, which is illusory blades. If I spend an hour doing a ritual, I can take a magical weapon that I have, and it becomes my illusory blade, so I can just summon it and dispel it at will. I would like to do that with the Sword of Speed.
Okay. That sounds good. I will say that you woke up extra early this morning in preparation for that to complete your ritual. You all got a really good night's rest. First good night's rest you could remember in quite some time, just simply because of all that's taken place in the last few days. And so you were excited to be able to, now that you had found that sword, the opportunity presented itself for you to this ritual that you have never done officially before. You've practiced it many times, but to have the opportunity to do that was quite exciting for you, and you found yourself you rested well, but you found yourself eager to get up before even the sun came up to get that done, and so you're up and ready to go quite a bit earlier before everybody else.
Yes. And I will also assist in making sure that the youngstas have all of the proper clothing, because, kids, they want to run around when it's cold out without proper clothing. So we'll make sure that they're all mittened and booted and scarved.
There's an air. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. There is an air of confidence and, for the first time in quite some time, a settled air among the troop. They, I don't know, just after you guys returning from the ruins of Estronach and the things that you've done, the blessing that you seem to have gained by your travels through the Shrine of Jinx, and some other stuff, and then the opportunity you all had the night before to really kind of settle and rest and communicate and stuff just kind of makes everybody, seem there's a lighter air to the troop, and so the packing up seems to go well with that, and the kids are a bit rowdy because of it. So yeah, you helping out with them is very appropriate at this point.
Oh yeah.
All right. So anybody else need to do any daily rituals or anything that you're wanting to note that you're taking care of as your character before we move forward for the day?
Yeah, I'll check in on my mother.
Okay.
I'll do my daily prayers for the day's luck and good nature of Jinx to be on our side, and let Vessi know that to check on her after her dreams from last night, make sure she's doing fine, and let the twins know that all the wrongdoings that they told me about are not really wrong. If anything, it is in the spirit of Jinx to continue to be who they are, and to know that humor, as long as it is in good jest, is a release from some of the serious things of life that we have to deal with.
Okay. You find as you're doing so that a piece of cloth that you had always had since before you can remember, that is the only item from your childhood after you had traveled, you had been captured and taken with the caravan, and then found and run away and then found and everything like that. There was a piece of cloth that you always believed must have belonged to your mother, your real mother, and you thought it had been long lost, and as you were talking with these, you actually found somebody had that piece of cloth, and they mentioned that they had found it one time, a couple of months back in the dirt, and thought it looked pretty and picked it up and didn't even know whose it was, and you'd noticed that. What do you say to them?
I'm probably speechless, looking at the piece of cloth for many moments, even time for them to ask if I'm okay, and I just look at them in just grave sincerity at the gift they've given me, and at the timing that they've given it, at the loss that the troop has heaped upon us, and just I cherish it, and I'll give them a big hug.
Yeah, they were quite touched and thankful that it was something that was actually yours, and that it is treasured in such a way. So it's kind of a touching moment. But you find fortune seems to have smiled upon you, and you can't help but think that Kismia heard your prayers this morning, and blessed you with this, and it gives you a sense of confidence for the day ahead, that Kismia is directly watching over you guys today.
At that, I'll have a huge smile across my face suddenly, and do a boisterous laugh and pat them on the back and say, "Let's get going. Today is going to be a great day."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. They agree. All right, Kenna. As you were doing your ritual, it really centered you, and it helped you focus and realize that over the last few days, there have been just various times where you've heard voices and seen things that others didn't hear or see, and you realize that from last night through this morning, though it has happened, periodically, that it hasn't happened in quite some time, and you're wondering if maybe whatever was going on, maybe it had something to do with dark tide, or maybe whatever affliction it was, or location, or something like that may have passed. And so you just kind of recognize that as you go.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
What's that?
Absolutely. That's she would actually be kind of puzzled by it, and probably make a point to remember to talk to Mother soon about that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Anybody else doing anything in this morning?
Yeah, I was.
How much time was there again?
Oh, go ahead.
Recovering.
Say that again.
How much time are we saying this for? Like a day or a week or?
Oh, it's just the morning.
Okay.
It's just morning time. Getting prepped for the day. You got a long rest for the night, and now you're just prepping for the day's travel. You guys are getting back on the road.
We'll go last, but I appreciate getting my question in first. So go right ahead.
Okay. All right. Theros.
Yeah, I'm going to check in on my mother and continue to do so on a regular basis every few hours.
Yeah. You check in on your mother, and she's actually sitting up. You hadn't really seen her this positive recently, and she's actually sitting up. Seems very strong, and that just the sight of that fills you with a sense of elation that she's definitely recovered, and that she's going to get through this.
Mom, looks like you're doing well.
No, I'm doing much better. I'm still quite shocked about the loss of your father, but I think it's just time to get down to work and know that these things happen in this world, and I'm excited to have an opportunity to hear more about your travels and your experiences that you've had, really helping guide this troop over the last 2 days. But we need to get to Prondadal before we can actually discuss that. I need my rest, but I think Best is probably going to be looking for you guys here pretty quick, because we got to get on the road. You guys got to get up on front wagon, and so go, son. No, I'll be fine. Thank you for checking on me. I love you, son.
Very good. Don't worry, Mother. The troop is in good hands. We'll get to Pranadal.
Yeah, I know we will. Now go on.
So then I'll step out.
Okay. Cool.
And Fleegan,
Right.
despite the fact that we slept well, is walking around like a zombie gnome. I need my wake up juice. Where is this wake up brew? Where's this thing called coffee?
Oh, Fren is over there, packing up from breakfast, and she's got some of that real strong Hanataz blend with a little special spice and some other things she puts in it.
So he downs the first cup, and then he takes the second cup and downs it, and takes the third cup and walks away with it.
No wonder you're seeing things. That chipmunk's just going to come back for you.
Is this a little tiny cup, Fleegan size, or like a regular full-size cup?
Oh, pretty good size
big
cup.
one.
Yeah, it's a pretty good size cup. Fleegan, give me a
Save versus poison.
Yeah, I need a Constitution save.
Oh no!
I need to see a 1 here. I need to see a 1, and no, it hasn't. I haven't forgotten your guys' roll. But 13.
I was about to put that in chat too.
Yeah, you're feeling pretty good. You're feeling kind of clear-headed. You're not seeing any green flames or anything like that.
Green, red, or careful. We don't want
You
to.
got to bounce in your step. You don't have the jitters, but you definitely had a pretty good amount of that wake up juice. So you're not quite a zombie anymore. So
we need to come up with the shield challenge, where people hold up shields and you have to run in a circle.
all right, who are we leaving? We got Gror. Gror, you got anything you're doing this morning?
Yeah, can you remind me? Is Mother like coherent and able to be talked to and everything right now?
Mother Salvenza?
Yeah.
You haven't. Are you looking for her?
Well, I want to try to take my map to somebody. I almost want her to
okay.
recommend who, but I don't know if she's really available.
Yeah. Well, you do walk around looking for her, but strangely, you can't seem to find her for whatever reason, and nobody seems to know where she's at. For whatever reason, which is not uncommon. It's not uncommon, and nobody really knows. But she's the Cirrus, and so most people just chalk it up to there's things that she does that people don't know about, and that's just her.
Okay. So who's the next worldliest mystic person?
Fleegan!
Kenna.
In the troop, probably Vestia, who you could probably talk to along the road, but I know that I know your feelings about her, and her feelings about you.
Vestia has been very helpful, actually.
We could have fun with that.
I don't remember something being wrong with that necessarily, but
I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with it. I just
rather than address Vestia when that still would be an option later, I will go to like the religious leader guy. I forgot his name.
That's Anton.
Yeah.
The priest.
Yeah. He's been really nice and generous. So I'll go to him and I'll try to show him the map and see if he has any knowledge, idea, or clue to it.
You go and you find him, and he's just checking all this stuff after it's been packed up on his wagon, ready to go. He takes the map from you because you show it to him, and he kind of looks it over, and he looks at you, and he says, this is interesting. He says, I think I've seen a similar shape of this before. Gosh, is that? Let me think here. And he's kind of talking and hemming and hawing and everything like that. And as he's doing that, before you actually realize that it's there, you actually start to kind of scratch your chest a bit, and unconsciously, and then all of a sudden you become more conscious of the fact that you're scratching your chest. It's starting to itch. And then as you recognize that it's starting to itch, you recognize that it's starting to burn a little bit more as well. And you, unbeknownst to you, you're kind of starting to grimace, and you're kind of holding your chest and everything as you're doing that. And Anton kind of stops mid-muse and looks at you and says, "Roar, are you okay? What's going on? What's wrong?"
I have this weird rash or effect going on my chest. I thought it had cleared up, but could you take a look at it for me? Tell me what you think of that as well. First, tell me more about the map. The map, I must know.
Are you okay? I mean, let me say a prayer for you.
I am better than okay. I am a dwarf.
Well, and he puts his hand on your head. He says, "Let's say a prayer for a moment. Let's say a prayer for a moment." And so he says a prayer to Jinx for health, and you feel the sensation start to wane a little bit. He says, "Oh, you're still wanting to know more about this map." He says, I could swear that this is, the shape of this. It's a fairly large location on the western shores of Zustrania, which is continent on the other side of the world. You tell me how you might have come upon this map. I don't know what it means, but why. I don't know why there would be a map of that scale and that location that's this far from where the location might be.
I found it in an item given to me by a friend. Outside clan.
Well, I don't know much more than that. We're heading to Pronadal, and there may be some folk there who you could talk to more about it. There be more. We travel. Most of the traveling that we do, as you well know, is in Verdestia. But I do study maps. It's something that is a hobby of mine, and so that's why this looks quite familiar. And I think that might be where it might be. But I don't know. It's quite strange. It's Jinx's guidance upon you to try and decide what you might do with this as we move into the future, or if you want to check with those in Pronadal who might know more about it.
Thank you. I will heed your advice. Would you?
Are you okay? Are you feeling any better?
Would you take a look at this spot that seems to be affecting me? Seems to burn.
Chest?
Yeah, like a fire within.
Do you open your shirt or something to show it to him?
Just take the whole shirt off right away.
Just take it off. Everything.
Teasing or anything. Just, straight to the gun show.
Yeah. Gror has a gun show and a peck show and an everything else show. He's got about a 12.5 pack there or something like that.
12.5 pack.
Yeah, it's
more of an anatomy. It's a little weird.
Well, it's. I mean, they got to have the beer belly, so that's the half down below. Considering your parents, no, I digress. He looks at that and he kind of something. I'm not much on afflictions, but Selva might help with that. She seems to know a little bit more about that kind of stuff. I don't know. It is quite odd. When did this begin?
Before we left on our last mission, really. Yeah.
Was it associated with anything that you had eaten, or any? You guys had gone into a cave with spiders, and you had gone into an old ruined tower and had met with a large gelatinous something or other, and
Yes, I was there. I have faced many fearsome foes and come triumphantly to you this morning. But nonetheless, I have eaten nothing strange. So it could be the mark of some curse against
hero
me.
Sandwich.
I know, curse.
I did touch the breasts of a temptress, and it all might have been a setup once, but I don't think she was cursed.
Well, and he leans over very quietly. He says, I may have done that as well. Sometimes we just can't resist, right?
Same Dwarfus?
So anyhow...
Who is he speaking to about the map?
Anton.
Oh, okay,
Priest.
yeah. Anton, our to-go guy.
Yeah. So he that's pretty much all the information he has about that.
The person he suggested again, what was her name?
Selvra. She's the Beastmaster and the druid of the troop. Druidess of the troop.
Sure.
So, okay. All right. Well, it looks like everybody's kind of packed up and ready to go. Veshta kind of comes over and starts gathering you all together to get set up for lead wagon to head on the road. She mentions that, again, we'll be heading downhill towards King's Bridge here shortly, and then once we cross King's Bridge, it's you'll be starting to pass by the Mistwood.
Gloria's shirt is still off for her, by the way.
She doesn't seem phased by the fact that your shirt is off, though some of the older, not older, but some of the younger Frenta, older Youngsta females or whatever, they're walking by. You kind of see them kind of giggling to each other as they look and act like they're not looking. So, but
Gro's head cannot swell any larger or grow, so he will just remain equally proud.
Hey, Grory, you're looking pretty perky today.
Must be cold out.
We'll give him the peck dance.
Why?
Thank you, my friend.
You can cut glass with those.
Hey, Cat, get some acorns so we can bounce them back and forth. Couldn't help it.
I was going to have you do a roll on that, but I don't need you to do a roll on that. That was good. All right. So, skipping ahead, you guys gather up for your duties, get ready to hop on Lean Wagon and start to move it forward.
Do we wish to roll for the rewards of greenness?
I'm going to do that at the end. Don't let me forget.
All right.
Okay. But I do want to do that tonight. I just want to do it at the end. So help me remember, please.
Cool.
All right. So the road begins to descend a bit as you round a bend. And then looking down into the draw, you can see the famed King's Bridge. Picture. The great stone edifice is a relic of many years, having been built over 100 years ago. It is still maintained, but not as well as in the past, and clearly shows some wear. You have crossed it before, but even though it is known to you, it is still impressive as you regard it. Beneath it, the waters of the Weirdwood River and the Murkflow channel out of the bog in a wide, slow-moving current. And there are small flecks of dark blue and purple that can be seen in the water. As you guys come on down towards the bridge, you recognize that it's probably about 200 feet long and it crosses the river beneath it. Technically, this is the Weirdwater River, and the reason it's called the Weirdwater is because it has that strange blue flecks to it. The water is coming out of the bog to the Blackwood Bog to the north there. And also, the water comes from north of that, from Mu'uz Deron, which is the ancient Ethernic city, floating city that was floating over the lands of Verdestia when the Woe of Ruin hit, and it turned over completely and crashed to the ground at the Woe. And then now, because of all the arcane corruption and energies that was held therein, it is over the years has seeped all of that corruption into the lands to the south of it, and that's what's caused the Blackrot Bog and the Murk Flow and the Weird Water and all to have the look that it is. So, right. You guys pass across the bridge. You'll see a number of posters hanging on the paved stones as you go. And one of them kind of sticks out to you because you've seen something similar before back at the carnival.
Bah. We don't need this crap.
Bull
You
rousers.
guys remember what's that?
Bull rousers.
Rabble rousers, yeah. That symbol, is that the symbol for the? No, that's not for the brewers. The
Shiners? No.
Shiners. No.
Yeah, no.
No, that's
recognize myself.
I do. I'm gonna go back to notes.
You guys have similar paraphernalia with the symbol upon it in days previous.
Yes, we did.
Perhaps someday we'll meet these individuals and, they can possibly become part of the Hanatas, or at least a connection that we have, and in their unrest, perhaps we can bring joy.
All right, so you guys cross over the bridge without incident, and you continue the road. And whereas in the days previous, as you were traveling along the road, you met a number of individuals and some other things. For some reason today, and maybe it's because the storm feels like is on the air. They're not really travelers on the road. It seems somewhat conspicuous to you at this point that you left early morning, and you travel quite some miles along the road, and it's perhaps 3 bells in the afternoon when Vestia then pulls the wagon to the side of the road into a fairly large open glade that's skirted by trees. And she looks at the sky, and then she looks at you all, and you just kind of have that, that feel when it's just about ready to start snowing, and you just kind of feel it on the air. That's what you're feeling.
Or we'll put
She
his
says,
shirt
"Well,
on. Armor, though.
You've had it off this whole time."
Seemed like it was a good thing.
She says, we shall travel no more today. The storm comes, my Zatis. When the rest of the troop arrives here, we'll set up camp to prepare for the snows." So she pulls you off to the side in this clearing, and very shortly thereafter, the wagons start to arrive, and you guys are all charged at that point to discuss with the rest of the troop what the plan is, and that's to get the wagons all set up to settle for the night. There's just there's too much of a chance of getting caught along the road in the snow and not having an opportunity to find a clearing where you guys could set up for the wagons and the tents as needed for shelter, and get everything ready to go before the snows come. They circle up the wagons and set them in place for the camp. The livestock are all paddocked and blanketed. You guys help with that, and your whole gaggle of pets that you've collected. You're all concerned about them and making sure that they're all blanketed in so that they're not exposed to too much of the weather, because it really feels like this is going to be quite a bit of snow coming in, and you guys want to make sure that they're going to be ready of it.
I have a strong feeling that Killer probably crawls into Theros' sleeping bag at night.
That works.
Just to keep warm.
Well, it does say that the smaller animals are placed inside covered carts.
Mhm.
And it's a ritual that you have seen many times, and you know their roles. Yeah. So, hang on a second. So as you're readying the wagons and the horses for the coming storm, you hear Vestia call your names from across the glade. You guys head over to talk to her?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Why not?
What else do we have going for us right now?
I'm not sure what I said, Kenna, so I'll just leave it at that. Um,
No,
Why
no,
is that?
it was Quimber
Oh, okay.
in the chat there.
Oh, jeez. My Zatis, I hope you are prepared for another assignment. Surprise, surprise. We very well may have a serious problem on our hands. And at this, she points at the ground near the edge of the forest. And there, plain to see, are more than a few very large footprints, considerably larger than any humanoid footprints you have ever seen. She will then add, "We have another job for you before the day ends. You need to go into the depths of the Mistwood and see if you can find the ones that made these prints. We suspect it's a crush of ogres. If there are many of them, we obviously need to know, as they will pose a great threat and danger for our troop."
Not just our troop, any travelers.
Oh, yeah. But, we're most worried about ours, especially if they're lurking in the Mistwood, as we have many miles to pass before we get to the King's Crossing.
Yeah,
And they could ambush us at any time.
I think we can only put up with one Theros. We don't need a whole group of them.
Well, I can go drinking with them. I'll get them on our side.
If there are many of them, we didn't know. If there are many of them, we need to know. While in the woods, we also need you to hunt for meat, gather some wood, and fill some skins with fresh water. XFY quest? No. We are running very low, but your most important mission is to find the ogre den, wherever it may be, and see if you can determine their number. I cannot go with you on this task. It's up to you alone. Do you have any questions?
Or says he would be, okay with going alone, but is it okay if he takes the rest of the group?
Kenna rolls
She
her
just
eyes.
she, and so does Vestia. She just rolls her eyes and looks at the rest of you with a blank stare, sharing a knowing glance with Kenna.
If there's not too many of them, can we dispatch them and take the plunder?
I think it would be important that you be careful, because we have no idea to know how many, and even with a group as strong as yourselves, I would be concerned that you get in over your heads if you happen to run into a large crush of them. So I would recommend that you not only make haste. There's probably about 5 hours or so before it gets dark and the snows get too thick to be able to return safely, and we need to have the wood and the meat and other things available for us for dinner this evening. But I mean, you are well proven that you can take care of yourselves. I would be quite careful. Just be careful.
Of course.
Well, let's go. Daylight's burning.
All right. Well, she goes ahead and she gives you two filled oil lanterns to take with you, 3 axes so that you have the opportunity to cut firewood as needed, 3 backpacks for carrying all the wood, 3 game bags for any hunting. Anything that you might find that you've hunted to pack up after you've cleaned it and got it ready to go. 5 large empty water skins for you to gain fresh water for everyone. And then she actually takes a moment to kiss each of you on your forehead, which is something you've never seen her do before, including you, Gror.
Try to stand on my tiptoes.
Only on the forehead?
Only on the forehead.
Make it a little taller.
No lips. No lips were touched. She leans over the top of your tippy toe and still kisses you on the head.
Right.
But she does place in your hand, Roar, this little fancy thing. There you go.
Appropriate.
Oh. That doesn't bode well.
And then lastly, she audibly asks the blessing of Kismia and Jinx upon the party as she sends you on your way by saying, "Now, my Zatis, it is time for you to go. But listen to me now. Do not engage these monsters unless they attack you. They are fearfully dangerous. Just determine their number and return to us as soon as you are able, gathering the stuff as you need, of course, and stay together. Head south along the road. I saw these two paths into the forest not far from here, and be back in 5 hours, no more."
We will do our best.
Do you hear that, Groar? Do not split the party.
Did you hear the directions? Maybe we should follow them this time.
All right. So, you guys head on out?
Yep.
Of course you do. All right. Just gotta manage a few windows here real quick. There we go. All right. Well, you guys gather up all of your game bags and your backpacks for the wood and your water skins and everything to get ready to go, and you set off to the southwest along the road. Sulian is not nearly set, but the slowly thickening cloud cover makes the time seem later. And above you, the red star shines down from behind the misty veil. Yet somehow, even in the waning light of the day, it still lightly bathes the road and the trees in muted red. As with each night since it appeared, it disturbs your mind and quickens the beating of your heart. And then, somewhere to the east of you, a wolf howls. Ooh. High and long, shaking you from your dark thoughts. It seems a lonely and mournful cry that welcomes the coming storm. The wind is strengthening. Best you hurry. So you guys head down the road, and as you walk, your thoughts wander to Cray and Kalnassi. You think that they could be so harmed is beyond your mind. And to have lost Borag is even more surreal, deeply painful. And you still can't believe that he's gone. The huge and kind ogre man was as much a father to you as any Theros. And what will you do without him now? And ultimately, who shall assume the mantle of leading the troop along with Kalnassi? And what happens if Cray and Kalnassi do not actually fully recover and do not get back to the full strength of who they were? This will make the troop much weaker. And the pain brings a tear to your eye as you look back towards the camp with a heavy heart. And then your muse is kind of disturbed by the screeching cry of a quailing bird in the nearby trees. And it brings your thoughts back to the task at hand. And you are continuing in the southerly direction along the road, seeking a decent path into the thick forest. There will be no game out here in the open, nor any you likely, and nor are you likely to find fresh water or dry wood on the road, let alone the ogre's den on the road. The north wind blows in low whispers that belie the danger to come. It brings a chill that stings your face even though it comes at your back. And soon the wind will pick up speed and drive the soon-to-fall snow against any who are still in the open, roaring with anger like some great beast and dropping the temperature substantially. You need to be back at camp before then.
Well, these tracks are pretty big, but who's going to lead the way to keep us on them?
I can do that.
I'll move you guys to a new map here shortly, but
Should
guys
we
see the
use
picture?
this stealth thing, obviously,
Yeah.
if we get, or should we save it?
I was thinking about that earlier. Perhaps we should use it as a retreat method so they can't follow us back to the troop.
It's not a bad thing to save it, I guess, but if we get caught first, I mean, it just risks that.
Right. If there's any way we know that we're getting close to them, it is definitely a great gift that has been given to me by my blood touch. So let me know when you think that might be useful.
let me finish this real quick. This Theros going to say something.
Oh, go ahead.
Perhaps a quarter-mile south of the camp, you round a bend in the road and see a break in the trees to the east. It marks a rather wide, rough-worn path that feeds into the dense underbrush. And you can see the large footprints of the ogres in the mud. But there are also small hoofprints in the damp earth leading into the woods. The prints continue east, running along the muddy track and into the dark forest, and you feel a sense of dread as you ponder entering into the woods, while the day darkens around you. You guys see that image?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
What do you guys do?
Well, we're supposed to go into the woods, so.
Yep. Follow the tracks and
Are they deer tracks, for sure?
Are you going to check them? Inspect them?
Definitely.
Okay, give me a survival check, please.
Somebody want to help?
yeah, I can assist.
Okay, go ahead and do that with advantage.
I gotta pop my character sheet back out because I was in the wrong game a little bit ago. I don't know if you guys saw that. I wasn't in there.
I wasn't paying attention, so apparently not.
Oops.
Admit it. Yeah.
Again, I'm rusty. I don't remember how to do this. Do I remember how to do this? Do you feel like... Are you guys having fun yet?
Oh yeah,
Hey, you're doing great.
I've been missing this.
Always have fun.
Good, I am. I missed
Just
it.
gonna roll a die. Can you check it for me, Casey?
Sure.
Because everything is giving me some delays, and why should we wait?
Yeah. This program. So at D9, I don't know what your survival modifier is. Go ahead and roll it again because you got advantage because it's going to help you. Okay.
9 sounds good.
All right. Yeah. The small tracks are look like they probably a small herd of westward deer.
So yeah, we'll follow the tracks until, the ogre's tracks until we just keep following them until we find them, or we can't find them anymore.
All right. Let me go ahead.
It's
and
Lucky Lombo knocked and ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and move you guys to another map here. All right. I hope this doesn't miss you. This is a pretty good size map.
I think it was much more user error than any other issue. Character sheet.
All right, so this map, when you probably get to it, it's going to be black. You can zoom out and find yourself, or just scroll down a little bit. You should see yourselves. Let me know when you all are good to go.
I'm good.
I can see.
Good.
Yep. Good.
All right. Well, okay.
Thumbs up all around.
All right. So you guys head into the woods there, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Being quiet and careful.
All right. So I'll move you forward. You guys are being nice and quiet and careful. Are you being stealthy or just quiet and careful?
Fleegan's being stealthy.
Okay.
Kenna's being as quiet as she can, even though she's not really great at stealth, but she'll do her best.
Okay. Fleegan, go ahead and give me a stealth check, please. And I need Kember and Theros to give me a perception check, please. The track narrows to about 5 feet wide, running east to west, with a thick vegetation on either side of you, and a rather dense canopy of silver pine branches above your heads. To the west is the road. East leads deeper in the wood, into a fork in the trail with the main track running southwest, and a second overgrown path heading in a northerly direction. As it is winter, some of the gnarly giants have no leaves, affording you broken views of the shrouded sky and the ever-present menacing red star. Though veiled by the clouds, the crimson hue still shines through, and you can hear the wind moving through the branches like the throaty cackles from a flock of riven jackbirds. To the north of the path, you hear a rustling sound.
Knock an arrow.
Do you want me to go look at, see what's up there?
Go check it out.
Yeah,
Fleegan.
somebody throw him over there. And let's see.
I might be a little more stealthy if you didn't chuck me over there.
Yeah.
A Fleegan fling.
I don't know. We've never tried that plan yet. I'm just saying.
We'll make that plan H and put a pin in it.
And if we
So what are you
prepare, it'll be preparation H, wouldn't it?
Oh, jeez.
Bada boom boom.
Fleegan
That-
will.
You
that's
hear a
where
little
the
more
least
rustling.
inspiration-
You hear a little more rustling, and you hear the sound of wolf. I actually should probably add a little music here.
Yes.
You hear the cry of a wolf not too far away, off to the east, and quickly a response call from a wolf not too far to the southwest.
Our opinions about eating wolves.
They're tasty on a
Tastes
stick.
like chicken.
We've eaten worse.
Drunken bear.
That's true.
Swamp
I mean,
rat.
I would eat drunken bear before wolf normally. I mean,
Should we get a fire source just in case?
If I recall, somebody has flaming hands. Isn't that a fire source?
Yeah, burning hands and firebolt are a couple of things I can do with that.
is the rustling like wolf-like size by our estimation, or grower's estimation?
Can you give me a nature check?
Can.
Or not.
Getting all these out of the way early.
That's good.
You don't even know if we're in nature.
That rustling sound. It sounded. Are you sure you heard rustling sound? I don't know. But then actually, the rest of you do hear a rustling, and you see the bush kind of move nearby, up to the, kind of in this area right here.
Right next to Theros?
Right up near Theros and Kenna over there.
Yeah, it was to the north.
All right.
Yeah, right
I'll
up,
get ready to
right up near Theros.
kill whatever it is in there.
Yeah, I got a arrow knocked and I'm ready to
All
ready
right.
to roll if we need
I'll-
to.
I'll
Fleegan will take
charge
a
in.
look.
Theros, keep your feet wide apart just in case.
So you're gonna wade into the
Fleegan-
bush there.
Fleegan, are you going to go in or do I have to?
I'll go in because I can squeeze in better than you big tall.
You have to
Also
get
more
down on your
snack
knees,
sized.
crawl in a little bit. What was that, Kenna?
He's also more snack sized than Theros.
Is it another
You know-
big turtle?
It's and you know what? I'll
Yeah,
be more gamey and tough because I have the guns that Theros wishes he had.
I'd rather sacrifice a whole Fleegan than just one of my limbs. So
All right. Well, you crawl down into the bush, and so you kind of have to get down onto your knees. And the ground, it's not wet, but it's soft and damp, and you kind of feel that little dampness kind of make your knees kind of cold as you crawl in. You have I assume you have your dagger out or something like that.
I have my daggers out. Yep.
Yeah, you're kind of crawling through there, poking around and everything, and as you get, I don't know, about 3-4 feet down in there, it gets a little dark because of the overcast sky, but you can see okay. And there's some rustling right up in front of you, and then all of a sudden, a small badger comes flying out of the bush, running past you,
Ooh, can I stab
chittering
it?
as it goes. What's that?
Can I stab
You
it?
can- Yeah, you can try and
Because the
stab
last
it.
Should we talk to it?
The last badger I encountered bit me in my ass real hard.
So,
Something like a badger pissed on me.
so I was gonna have you roll to decide whether or not you were scared enough to just stab out, but you said you're gonna stab it. So go ahead and try and stab it. Give me an attack roll. All right, so you attempt to stab at the thing, and you don't skewer it, but you cut it pretty good, and the blood kind of comes out of it, and it takes off running a lot faster at that point, and you hear it kind of screech as it goes. You guys hear this screech and this rustling and this fraidy cat cry from Fleegan as he's inside the bush. What do you guys do?
Well, if the thing charges out, I'm going to shoot it.
It doesn't charge
gonna
out.
charge in.
It actually runs away. So
Okay.
I'm going to
Theros-
charge in.
so Theros goes crashing into the trees, you charge in. But the problem is the overgrowth and everything is pretty thick, and so you end up just kind of running into a whole bunch of branches and other things that stop you pretty darn quickly. Even though you're kind of snapping them, and it makes a good bit of noise. It's quite comical as you guys see him just kind of charge and end up stuck, not but I don't know, 2 feet into the bush, and of course you're standing right over the top of Fleegan, who's down on the ground at that point.
Darn
Ow.
Gordian branches.
Kenna's just kind of flabbergasted at this whole situation. She's like, what the hell are they doing?
Decides that there's no trick shot between Theros' feet anymore, so he'll watch our back now and listen for the wolves or something instead.
Okay. All right. Well, at this point, Fleegan, the badger got away. You scraped it, but it ran off into the bush a little bloody. You're on the ground. Theros is kind of above you, and all of the broken branches and stuff that he ran into that kind of shattered a bit. It kind of ran down on top of your head.
Dang.
And you look up at him, And as you look up, you notice above him, about 10 feet, nestled in a crook where a branch meets the trunk of a great leafless black oak, is a leather boot. It appears somewhat weathered and has a dusting of snow on it, because you all of a sudden realize that snow is starting to fall. And just in the last couple of minutes, and it's actually starting to come down a bit heavier than you realized. And the laces of the boot dangle down at its sides.
So, Theros, pick me up. I want to get that boot.
What? I'll look up and see
Pick
it.
me
And
up
I'll
so I can get
grab
the
him
boot.
with one arm and I'll fling Fleegan towards the boot.
Ugh.
Plan H.
You have a problem throwing people, don't you? It's an addiction. Is it?
Well, when you weigh like 30 pounds, it's fun.
You flinged Kenna, and now you're flinging me. What's up with this?
He did fling me on purpose, and I had asked him to. So
It was strategy, right?
it was valid strategy at that point.
I didn't ask him
Plan
to
H.
fling me. I said, tell him pick me up so I can grab the boot. There's a difference.
So do you let him pick you up and fling you?
Do I have a choice?
I you can.
assumed he was going to pick me up and lift me up to the boot. However, if he flings me, I won't know that until after he throws me, right?
Until
Yeah,
the
right,
launch.
well.
Well, I mean, he said it's about 10 feet in the air, so it's probably a little bit higher than what I can lift you to.
Well, no, not necessarily, because you're
I'm
tall.
35
And,
pounds.
All right, well, then I'll
You
pick him up and lift him up there.
no, I like the idea that you flung him. I'm gonna go
Okay.
with that. I mean, you pick him up and you fling him. Fleegan, I need you to make a acrobatics check, please, to see if you, surprisingly enough, as you're flying through the air, still keep your composure to reach out and grab the boot as you're flying by.
And
So
you
don't grab the boot, but you reach your hands out and you actually hit it enough as you're going by to where you don't grab it, but you knock it out of the tree and it falls down on the ground at Theros' feet, and then you come flying around and kind of crashing down, but the branches that are there break your fall enough to where you don't come crashing to the ground, but you are scraped up a little bit. I wouldn't say you guys take any damage at this point, but it's not very comfortable.
I'm going to walk over there and kick him in the shin.
I'll
Deserved.
pick up the boot and take a look at it.
Okay.
Ooh, better yet, while he's reaching over and picking up the boot, I'm going to kick him in the butt. Well, it's more like punching him in the butt, but
I was gonna say because
Are you ignoring him and you're just picking up the boot?
Yes, I'm ignoring.
What was that, Fleegan? Or not Fleegan, Gaiman?
Well, I was gonna say kicking him in the butt would require some elevation change.
acrobatics, baby.
The rest of you are just observing this. I mean, you can make any comments if you want to, which you have been in the chat. So, all right. So it looks like Theros, picks up the boot. It's a knee-high brogan made of dark brown leather. It's a bit cracked and dry from age and the elements that's obviously been sitting out in for who knows how long. Inside the boot, tucked into the toe, behind a old stocking,
Is a foot?
is a small silver medallion with a wolf's head on the front, surrounded by runes, and there are words engraved on the back. Let me show it to you here. And the words read, Kavon, with much love, Papa.
Hmm.
Oh, that's not good.
Mm-mm.
Didn't find any food, but you said it was a silver medallion made out of pure silver, or at least appears to.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it has some value. Kenna, Grimber, what do you make of this? I'll toss it over to Kenna.
Take a look at it. Does it? Does the symbol look familiar to me at all?
Hey, give me a history check.
History. Got it.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay.
I'll move over to Kenna and kind of look at it while she's looking at it. Try to recognize the symbols around the wolf's head and see the name Kayvon. Probably don't recognize what that is, but the semblance is definitely a father's gift to a child, which, being out here in the wild like this, is probably a young adult child, I would assume, and see if I can decipher any of those runes.
Okay, give me a religion check, please.
Also, while rolling, what size is the boot? Is it?
It's a decent adult size. I mean, it's not huge, but it's probably average adult size, average human adult size.
Anything else in the tree around where the boot was? I'll look up and kind of investigate the tree.
Yeah, give me an investigation check, please. Kimber, you're not even sure if you had seen anything like this enough to be able to, or learned anything about this in your past to know anything about it. So.
What are with all the fumbles we get in here this evening?
Yeah, I know.
There's trees? Where this was in a tree? I don't even know what a tree is.
Well, you go to look up, and for whatever reason, that funky sock really begins to ring, and it kind of distracts you, and you're like, oh, and you forgot what you were doing. So yeah. All right. Anything else?
Nope. Let's continue on, guys.
Yep.
Okay.
How large was the boot, real quick, before we go?
It was average human size, average human adult.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So, which direction do you guys want to go? Do you want to go north or do you want to go south?
Which way do the ogre's footprints go?
They go. Give me a survival check, please.
Anyone going to assist me with this?
Gloral help.
Well, there you go.
That's 24.
It doesn't take Kenna very long to notice that the ogre tracks they're all over the place, but she's pretty confident that they lead towards the south.
South it is.
One of the wolves was to the south, right?
One of them was
north
to
and
the
east?
south, to the southwest. One of them was off to the east, and one of them was to the southwest.
Okay.
The response was from the southwest. Yeah.
So let's keep an eye out.
Can you see
wolves,
the
too.
deer tracks with your amazing?
Oh yeah, he sees the deer tracks, and they're all over. You know, they're going north, south, and in and out of the trees as well. So, and they look fairly fresh. So, all right, you guys head down the trail here.
If they look fresh, we probably had better go with more stealthy.
Yeah, we'll
guys.
try to be a little quieter.
A little quieter. Okay.
Not running through the woods and throwing Fleegan into trees.
Okay.
I wholly agree with that. Yep. No
Yeah.
fleeing trees.
I'm gonna let
That's a good
Fleegan do. Yeah, I'm gonna let Fleegan do a stealth check and apply that to everybody else. He's been trying to teach you all how to be very
No
quiet.
pressure.
Yeah, and so you're all trying to follow his lead in the way that he does things. So I'm gonna stick him in front too. And And you guys do a pretty good job of staying rather quiet as you're moving through a forest where there's, leaves and other things on the ground. So, you try and do as quiet as you can. You do your best. But as you guys are heading down this dark pathway in the forest, in the trees overhead, maybe about 50 feet down the path and off to one side, you notice a pair of glowing eyes staring down at you. And before you can react, they wink out, leaving the foliage just as dark as it was before.
Did everyone else see that, or was that just me?
See what?
Yeah, everyone saw it. Everyone saw this. Yeah.
How far up were the eyes?
Maybe about 15 to 20 feet up in the tree.
Oh,
Now, were they animal eyes? Could we tell that large, small animal?
She give me a nature check there.
It was an owl.
It was
How
that thing
far-
that
Say that
was
again,
watching
Theros?
us.
How far apart were the eyes? The two eyes, how far apart were they?
yeah. Do they seem like
I don't
they're
know.
relatively close together? So, in other words, a small animal like an owl, or like a big animal like an ogre.
Yeah, well, Kimber would recognize that it would be a animal of some form. If he could guess.
Okay.
I'm not too worried about it. We're gonna see lots of eyes in the dark.
Yeah,
Unless
but
they
we
don't
wanna-
start come running at us.
Want to kill some things and bring them back for food too. So
That's
ready
true.
for that.
Yeah, we need to make sure that we get some game, and I'd rather take a single deer than 800 rabbits. So
At the same time, we should be trying to watch for some dry wood too that we might find.
All right, you guys want to
Agreed.
continue on, or what are you doing?
I'll pick some pieces of wood out
Yep.
of Fleegan's hair.
I don't think that's going to help a whole lot.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm gonna show you another picture here because it's just too pretty not to show. Well, the path forks at this point, running roughly north to south with another track heading easterly, deeper into the forest. The wind pushes in short gusts here, and you can hear the creaking of the trees as it drives through their branches. A large frozen mud puddle spreads out in front of you, and lying in front of you, and somewhat frozen in the mud, is the skull of what appears to be a very large squirrel.
Like how large?
Yeah, define large.
Squirrel
Like
means
an eaten
If I-
squirrel.
Like, are we talking a dire squirrel, or are we just talking a relatively big squirrel?
Can
Well,
I
we're talking
wear
about
the helmet? Can I wear the skull as a helmet? Big.
it's bigger than your average squirrel.
Like dog
It's bigger than
size
your
as opposed to-
average large squirrel.
Is it bigger than killer skull?
Probably pretty close to about the size of a dog's head skull, but it's definitely a squirrel skull.
New pet.
Unmistakable about that.
No, we're not bringing that home.
If it flies, we're keeping it. That's all I'm
Uh,
saying.
I'm gonna say,
what
Fleegan can
anybody
wear
says.
that. That's pretty cool.
Well, no, I'm just saying he said new pet. I'm like, we're not bringing a live one home.
If
I
it
don't think
if it flies, we have to.
fit.
Well,
the
it's not the
skull.
head,
I
it's
remember I have a
just-
big head.
Remember, it's not a head, it's a skull. And
Yeah.
as you guys are obviously inspecting it, you notice the teeth have fangs, and more the teeth of a carnivore than a herbivore or a rodent.
Does that bother anyone else, or
Well, that ain't a squirrel.
Squirrel dogs, squirrel wolves, squolves.
as long as they're not flying squolves?
You never know.
Flying, howling squolves.
Kind of like badgers that bite your ass, right?
Yes, enough of the badgers that bite asses.
So for group order, as we're walking around, I'm in the middle, and if anything moves, I put somebody else between me and it.
It'd probably be good to put yourselves in marching order, so you're welcome.
Yeah,
to
he screams like a schoolgirl and runs. It's
No running.
This-
I stay with the group.
Does this skull seem like it's been here for a long time? Like it was placed here as some kind of marker or warning?
That's a good question. You could give me a survival check.
Does somebody want to help with this?
yeah, I'll always assist with that. I'm trained.
Gross.
I'm better. I'm better now. Yes. Look out, world.
Yeah. Best you can tell is it's been there for some time because it's dead. It's stuck in mud and it's got, it's got some snow on it, and it's whether it was dropped there or left there or anything. It's you don't have enough information to be able to answer any of the rest of it.
Well, what I mean is, does it seem like it possibly died here long enough ago to become a skull?
You would
like-
suspect that it didn't die there because you would feel that if it had, you would have seen its bones
Right.
along with it. So
So it's possibly
way
some
does
kind of
the,
marker.
Skull
Yep.
point. Does it point down one of the paths?
it is pointing towards this direction. So no, it's actually not pointing down either one of the paths.
Huh.
Is there anything remarkable about that tree where we saw the eyes that it's pointing towards, right?
That's a good question. I wouldn't say that there's anything remarkable about the tree.
Okay.
It's just another one of the of the many trees in this forest, which is pretty darn thick.
Okay.
So
Well, gentlemen, I say we leave the skull alone and we head continue to follow the ogre's trail.
I'll check under the skull. While they're doing that, I'll check under the skull. See if there's just happens to be anything under it.
And maybe they keep a spare key under it or something.
okay.
I'm
All right, you go over and you
Hold
you
down.
try and look underneath it, and you pull it. You actually find that it's kind of stuck down in the dirt and the mud pretty good. You have to kind of pull on it, so that gives you a further indication that it seems like it's been there for some time. But you're able to kind of pull it up out of the mud, and there's nothing underneath it of note other than just more mud.
I'll put it back as it was.
All right. I heard somebody say something about following the ogre footprints.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, the ogre footprints go both directions.
Does one seem fresher or newer than the others? Does it look like they
I
split
would-
up, or does it look like the group has come through here back and forth?
Go ahead and give me a survival check to see if we can determine that specifically.
Okay.
Then
I'll help.
Because I'm guessing this might be like circular, like a. Oh, there we go. They come in one way and go out another.
It looks like the ones going this direction.
Mm-hmm.
You actually notice that the ground is a bit wetter this direction, and it looks like the tracks are a little bit deeper. The ground's softer and a little bit wetter, and it looks like from what you tell, it looks like they go this direction, but then they also return this direction, and then there's an obvious pattern to them going that direction.
Okay. Well, I say we go this way first, and then we'll come back and check the other direction if.
So a quick
If that
question:
doesn't pan
how
out.
intelligent are ogres in this, generally speaking, in this this world?
Depends on where they're at in the world.
Okay. Do we have
So-
any idea about this area? What their relative intelligence is?
You probably wouldn't know where they came from originally, or if they're from this location. If they're part of the Arachnoid nation, they would be relatively civilized and intelligent, even well-read in most cases. If they were more in the wild ogres, they could be as savage as trolls, or somewhere in between, depending on inbred and other things like that. So, it's really kind of a roll of the dice on whether or not, this particular group of ogres is civilized or not.
So anything from Einstein to as sharp as a bag of hammers. Got it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So, what do you guys want to do?
So you wanted to check the less traveled road first?
Well, this one seems the tracks are a little bit deeper, and they've gone this way a lot, and then come back this way as well. So both of them seem to be traveled frequently.
Okay.
We should probably.
I like the idea of following the right side anyway, because we went to the right, so we should be a lot safer that direction, I think. We won't get caught in any ambushes easily.
It's not the wrong way. It's the right way.
But
Okay. You guys head down this direction, and not too far down the trail, you find yourselves at a stream, or more like a river, and it's moving pretty swiftly. The water doesn't look as clean as you would like it to be to drink. It seems to have a good bit of dirt and even, other foreign material and things. It's likely that it's still flowing within the Mirkwood, the black rot bog, and from the Mirkwood and stuff. And so, you'd be a little concerned about grabbing this water to drink.
Okay.
You also notice that the forest all around at this point is pretty thick, and there's no real crossing that you could ford this river very easily without potentially getting swept down, because it's moving fairly rapidly and kind of descending at a steep level. And it doesn't look like there's any signs of any sort of trail on the other side of the river from this point.
No signs of the ogres on the other side?
They're using the river to hide their tracks.
Possibly.
Yeah, no signs of the ogres on the other side from where you're looking at this point.
Let's go to the other
Another
path.
skull or any kind of marker at all.
Yeah.
Which way is the river flowing?
It's flowing to the southeast.
Okay.
So from this direction to this direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's flowing. Yep.
We could go plan H and have Fleegan explore that side real quick.
Yeah, I don't again want to split the party.
How do we plan H? I guess we could tie a rope to him, pull him back across.
Let's just
Yeah,
go back and check
Just
the
tie a
other trail.
rope. That's not separating the party. It's just dangling the party, more or less,
We're not ogre
You got to
fishing.
drag him back.
Okay.
You're going to drag him back through the water.
This is not a fly fishing expedition. Come on, let's get back up here.
Is there one of those fish that you guys encountered in Astronaut in the water, maybe?
yikes.
Yeah. All right, you guys are going back the way
Yeah, we're gonna go
I
back the other
presume.
way. Yep.
There.
Less clear path to follow along the bank towards the southeast. Is there anything?
No, there's not.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually, as you might have heard in the background, if you guys have the audio up at all, you hear the wolves kind of howling from directions pretty much all around you. They don't seem close, but they're definitely howling nearby. So. Okay, so guys, down this direction. One moment, please.
One moment, please.
One moment, please. All right.
Theros, it looks like there might be a path to the north there too. Be careful.
Alright. Make that a little smaller. I am going to... Yeah, so you guys travel down this trail for quite some time. It kind of narrows a bit, but then tends to get a bit wider. But it's still running east to west. And you begin to notice dimly glowing bluish mushrooms can be seen on the northern side of the trail. Dominating the edge of the path is a huge, burnt-out tree stump on the right side of the trail, the southern side of the trail. It's about 15 feet or so in diameter and rises from the forest floor to a height of about 7 feet. I'll show you a picture here.
It's an ogre hot tub.
Circling the top of the stump are burned, jagged edges that appear much like a black-toothed crown, and the stump's base spreads out in thick, twisting roots that intertwine together as they pierce the earth. Between a particularly large pair of roots is a dark hole about 3 feet around, hollowing out the earth beneath the stump, and a strange, musty smell seems to be coming from the hole. As you ponder what to do next, a wolf howls in the distance and is answered by 2 others. The howls sound closer than the one you heard on the road. Good timing. Very good timing, yes. I don't know if you guys are listening to the music or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys do?
Go take a look, Fleegan.
I looked last time.
All right.
I think this is time for a dwarf to do it.
I'll just go do it.
I don't think you'll fit this time.
Maybe
I'll
he,
go.
Turn over the
maybe he
top.
could look. Yeah, look over the top.
Possible. Can we tell? Let's try that. Go up towards the hole as quietly as I can, but maybe Theros can come up and look down into the stump as well.
So then when the spider attacks, it has to choose between you and me.
Or you kill the spider and I get to laugh right by you because you're, really good at spiders.
Who said there were spiders? Where did that come from?
I just saw spider webs, that's all. So I figured there's a spider in there. It's a glowing, gooey spider.
Well, there
I
has
think
to
he's
be,
always wishing for spiders too. Maybe.
You need more
Why
than
does it
one.
have to be spiders?
But
All right, so who's going up? Is it Gror and Theros?
Yes.
Yep.
Our grudge holder will approach the hole, but allow Theros to peek over the top first. And I will
Watch
have
out for
my
face
action
huggers.
shield out now instead.
Okay.
I will try to tell Ken to watch. And
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye out.
Okay. All right. Well, Gror very quietly, stealth check, please.
Flee can hold my
Moves
hand and hold
towards
me.
it. As Theros, very quietly, or are you just stomping over there, big Theros?
I'll go quietly.
Mm-hmm. Stealth check,
I'm
please.
not so quiet.
Theros is more quiet than you are. Yeah, so Theros moves towards that as Gror is trying to get around Kenna, and she's kind of barring his way, and he gets a little frustrated and tries to push between her and Fleegan, and makes a little bit of noise. But
I'll just
Theros, you get up there.
Hey.
Yeah, Theros, you get up there, and much to your not surprise, there were spider webs in there, and coming up out of the this hollow tree hole, whatever the thing it is, comes a fairly rather large-looking spider. And
Of course, a wolf spider.
Ew.
Of course.
So that's what we heard howling.
and it attacks you.
Well, those things howl.
Yeah.
No.
I hope not. The ones in my house don't.
Yeah.
I saw we were out hiking at Matthews Winters, and I saw a wolf spider that was probably about the size of a salad plate. It was humongous.
Oh gosh,
Ow.
that's a big spider.
I don't
That's
think
called a
wolf spider.
tarantula.
Yeah,
That's
I think that's it's an escapee from south of the border or
Some of
something.
those wolf spiders around here get pretty darn big.
Yeah.
All right. It's gonna surprise you because it's gonna jump out of the thing.
I told you to watch out for face huggers.
Yeah.
Well, I was quiet.
It moves really quickly. Does a 16 hit piercing? I don't remember if a 16 hits you piercing or not.
It's piercing, so it does not. I have 20 minus 2, so 18.
Yeah. Okay. So it
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 attack
tries to
Roar?
bite you. No, it attacked Theros because Theros was the one who was close enough. So it tried to bite. It jumped up out of the thing and it's standing up on top of the hollow stump there, and it tries to bite at Theros, but Theros was somewhat at the ready enough to be able to kind of punch it off with its arm. So it doesn't get the chance to bite it. As that, what I'm trying to say. So,
Is the
all right.
spider now on like the edge of the stump, like at the rim?
Did you guys select your tokens when you rolled initiative? Just to make sure,
did.
because it's
Yeah, I
initiative
did.
time anywhere. So make sure that you do that so we get the right initiative.
Oh,
Wolf
jeez.
Slayer got a really good initiative.
Yeah, he did.
All right, we got everybody. Looks like we got everybody. All right. Well, Mr. Spidey Spider not only did that, but it moves quite quickly and spins around and tries to bite Theros again. And this time, do you guys see that?
Yeah.
It's a fast spider.
Oh,
You're going to take some serious damage there, Theros. You're going to take 8 piercing damage, and you're going to take.
Poison. Ouch.
I need you to roll a DC 11 Constitution saving throw, please.
Apparently, he
Cheat
recognizes
save.
you, and you killed some of his
Ran that.
cousins.
All right.
He wants revenge.
All right. So you're going to take, what is that? 5 points of poison damage. So 8 plus 5. All right.
Itch.
that hurt.
It did hurt. He resisted the poison, though. He's a big boy. He's a real big boy. And out of the trees on either side. So we're gonna. This one's gonna jump out of the trees at
Oh,
Kenna,
jeez.
and one is to jump out of the trees at Timber. So Kenna, it's going to try and bite you. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Did it roll? It didn't roll. Roll. There it is. Okay. And miss.
Yep. Nope.
Yeah. And Kimber, one's going to jump out of the tree and try and bite you, and I think that misses, right?
Yeah, he's clawing at my shield.
Yeah. That didn't happen. All right, guys. Well, Kenna, you're up.
Okay. Pull the Sword of Speed, and I will also draw the my. No, I'm just going to two-hand the Sword of Speed, and start tangoing with this thing.
All right. That is going to hit.
Okay.
for 10 slashing damage. All right.
Yep.
Angos are pretty effective.
You take that big old sword and you whack into it. You cut it almost kind of cleanly in half, but it hits the ground from you doing that, and it looks like it's almost dead at your feet, but it's not. It's not dead yet.
It's not. It's only a flesh wound.
All right. Anything else?
That is the since I don't have an offhand weapon. I don't think I have anything else to do. So no, that's it.
All right. Ironically, it's Kemper's turn.
Yeah, I'm wanting to, instead of attack, maybe benefit the party by doing a fairy fire.
Okay. So that's going to lighting up, giving everybody advantage.
They'll all make a dex save. If they fail versus my DC, then they're fairy fired, and they get an advantage on their attack rolls against them.
Fail. Pass. Fail. So this one failed. This one passed. This one failed.
Alright, light them up.
Light them up, sweet cheeks. So we'll just put a big old red dot on these guys here. Let's see, right there. Okay. All right. Okay. Anything else?
That's pretty much it for me right now. I want to get
All
close
right,
to
Grower.
Theros, which I did.
Yeah. Grower, you're up. Grower.
The one in front of me, is it on the outside of the stump or on the top rim of the stump, or where's it?
It's up on the top rim of the stump.
Sounds kind of awkward, but I think I can
Spiders.
make that work. I'm going to make a
Phrasing.
one-handed axe attack on him.
Okay. Oh my,
I'm
my,
gonna
my,
use
my, my.
one of my rewards.
Do you have an avoid a fumble?
Yeah.
Alright, let me go find that real quick.
I think it's the third one going
And
down.
Take that away. Avoid a fumble. There you are. Okay. You successfully avoided that fumble. Alright, so 15 hits with your battle axe there. So, how much damage? Seven slashing damage. Alright. Okay, anything else?
I'd like to roll better.
Of course you would. Alright,
Can I roll
Fleegan,
better, please? It's a.
Fliggin is going to fling some daggers at the one closest to Kenna.
okay.
That is much appreciated.
Especially
Alright.
since he hit.
Yep, you're gonna stick that thing with the dagger for 6 piercing damage, and you're gonna kill it.
I don't get my sneak attack. Oh.
Well, you could, but you just do more damage to a dead thing.
Well, then on my offhand, I will try to fling a dagger at the other one. Over here.
This
that
one over
attack
here?
Member.
Okay.
Yep.
So I guess it needs to be right there.
So it's 14 hit.
All right. Yeah, 14 does hit, actually. And actually, it's a 23 because it's lit up anyway. So that's
True.
4.
4.
And go ahead and do sneak attack on that one. It's,
You see, did I have to
Yeah.
use that reward then if they were lit up?
No, I'll give it back.
Yay!
But you rolled a fumble. Why can't we use it?
Connor loves Kimber. Kimber is the best.
So
I'll
instead, he
give
did
it
7
back.
damage.
I'll give it back.
Yeah, so instead of fumbling, you did 7 damage.
Right, because of Fairy Fire.
Yay.
Fabulous Fairy Fire!
Subtract 2
All
more.
right. All right. So 4 plus 2 is 6. I can do math. All right. All right, Theros.
Splat. The one that hurt me.
Remember what you did to the last spider? You
Got 16.
Good thing it's got Fairy Fire.
Yeah. There.
Yeah, splat.
It had 8 legs,
Squish.
so therefore you hit it.
Therefore, you hit it because
Swing
it was
away,
Fairy Fire
Theros.
and it had 8 legs.
Swing
Right?
away.
All right. Well, it's back to that spider, and it's because it's the only one left. It's going to try and bite Kimber one more time. Oh, I think that's going to hit. Right?
Holding my shield up, it must have put its weight on my shield, knocking it down to the ground and gets me.
Go ahead and give me a Constitution save, please.
Where's that saving? I was just going to roll Constitution, but that's not right.
Should be save above that.
Yeah, right above the skills is your saves.
Oh, okay.
Yep. All right. So you're gonna take 2 piercing damage and 2 poison damage. Round down.
Okay. Ah!
All right. But you are not poisoned. Shoo. All right, Kenna.
I'll take a swing.
Take a swing. Swingity swing. Swoogity swoog.
I'm assuming a 22 hits.
Yeah, I'm sure 22 hits. Guess what? You kill it. Dead.
Good.
Alright. You guys have successfully beaten the spiders.
Kimber swings and misses the dead body of the spider.
The Fairy Fire's still on
I
it.
still
I'm sure
believe
you hit.
in you.
10 and 9.
Oh my gosh. Oops.
You know I was swinging regardless if you killed it.
Yeah.
Do we have 2
Alright,
injuries
right,
in that fight only?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think
Theros
Theros is
Theros
bad.
got bit. Yeah.
How are you sitting at, Theros?
I'm pretty hurt. I'm at 2/3.
The Fool's Stone
26
come with
out of 39.
instructions, Casey? Do you know how to use it or anything?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, you know how to use it if you want to.
We also have the favored amulet still too.
I'm also carrying 3 healing potions that were part of our gear.
So I'll explain to the others that the stone that she gave me allows me to heal a group, anybody within 30 feet, 3 times.
Hmm.
I can bless anybody within 30 feet once. I can cast a mirror image once.
I would hold on to that. Let's just use.
I just wanted to share the
potions.
resource information before.
Appreciate that, yeah. Let's just use one of the healing potions for Theros.
Well, the amulet recharges. I could just use the amulet.
Okay.
Yeah, I could use a little bit of healing just because if we do run across something and it hits me hard like that again.
There's the amulet.
That'll work.
There you go.
Yeah, so Theros heals 8.
Puts me almost back up.
Good, good.
Okay. Well, you got these 3 dead spiders now laying on the ground, and you got this hollow stump sitting here. What are you gonna do?
Do we eat spiders? Would we take these back
No.
for food?
Yeah.
No, we don't? Okay.
Mm-mm.
Probably not.
Okay. Just had to be sure.
Crabs, yes. Spiders, no.
Although there are blue glowy mushrooms.
Yeah, I was going to inspect those and see if they looked like they were possibly edible and safe.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a survival check, please.
They look like the glowy mushrooms we encountered before, or not at all.
You know these as winter glow shrooms.
Mm-hmm.
They're edible, but not very tasty. They have a bitter flavor.
Okay.
They're palatable to a starving person, but not something you guys would normally want to eat. Better
Or
not
a
poisonous.
Well,
They only grow in the late fall and early winter, and are typically only in old growth forests. They seem to grow in.
So we can we'll collect those on the way back if we have to.
Anything in the stump besides more glowy mushrooms?
Spider eggs?
You look over inside the stump, and it looks like there's a hole that goes down into the ground underneath it, and the glow of the mushrooms kind of illuminated enough to know that the hole goes down about 8 feet, and looks like it may potentially open up into a wider space underneath.
At the hole in the front or the hole in the top?
Yes.
Well, you look into the hole in the front there, because the top is up about 7 feet. So.
Okay.
What do you guys want to do?
The
Lee, you wanna
spider
go
that jumped out
investigate
the top there, I wouldn't know if there's any kind of a lair or nest up there.
So what are
Probably
you doing?
under the ground.
So what are you doing, Fliegen, to figure that out?
Well, I'm assuming it jumped out of the top of the tree.
Yeah, it come up out of the top of the tree. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So,
it's definitely hollow. The stump itself is hollow all the way
no,
up.
we're talking about the one out of the north.
Oh, that came up out of the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you're just looking up into the trees to see if you see a nest or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't look like there was a nest up in that space. It was just hiding up in there. Could have been those eyes that you saw, maybe.
Can we see into the hole far enough with like dark vision or whatever to really?
Well, it's
in
the hole is illuminated by those glowing mushrooms, and so you can see that it goes down about 8 feet into a wider space underneath.
We don't see anything inside or spiders.
We could go
or-
in and check.
That's what I'm trying to see first. Usually you look into
Yeah.
the doorway. I mean,
Yeah, if it illuminates it, but into a larger area, we may not be able to see the larger area because it's not directly down under the hole.
I mean, I don't know if we should go because there's not likely ogres under there or things to eat since you guys don't want to take back spiders to eat. So,
Yeah.
It is possible if the spiders are gathering tonight that they have caught some things already.
but do you want spider leftovers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Not
I'd rather have a
really.
hungry dwarf frozen dinner.
Yeah, I'd rather
It
eat these
depends on how
mushrooms.
fresh it is, because if it's just fresh or not.
It could have the spider's venom in it and everything already too.
Yeah, I'd say let's leave that alone and move on.
Yeah. Got a lucky longbow. I don't think we need to be scavengers.
Oh, we could feed the leftovers to the ogres and watch them pass out.
I don't
Look.
think it works that way.
Oh, ogres, we brought you these spider leftovers.
Okay, all right.
We just moved to the neighborhood. We thought you might want to give.
We brought you a casserole.
All right, so that means Fleegan, go down and check it out real quick.
Sure, I'll go down and check it out.
We'll
Nobody
tie-
else wants to go. I'll
We'll
go.
tie a rope
Uh-oh.
to him.
Now
So
some
we can
apples
yank
have
him
been
out
filled
of
with.
I'll go with him. I'll go with him.
Okay.
We really want to check it
Fliegen and
out.
Gror are gonna go down the hole.
Yeah, I'm fine with leaving it
Fliegen and
alone.
Gror go down the hole.
These things
The
may have killed
hole.
an ogre.
You don't push the
Alright.
button.
Maybe we can find the other boot.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
That's
So
the idea.
who's going down first?
The
Das
dwarf is-
Boot. The dwarf is going down first. All right.
Usually the masculine
All right.
one will go first.
So dwarf, you start crawling. Grower, you start crawling down into the hole, and it's not too hard to get down in there. You actually notice the
He said it was like 3 feet high. Isn't that just kind of like a little crouch?
no, it's about 8 feet
8 foot drop.
down. 8 foot down.
I meant the hole.
Yeah,
I
the
thought it
bottom
was
there.
like 3 high.
No, it's about 8 feet down.
Okay.
But you can crawl your way down in there and then just kind of drop down into the space if you want to. So.
All right. Why
All
not?
right, so it's not hard to get down in there. I mean, it's there's roots and other things like that you can hold on to. You can just crawl yourself down in there. It's you actually get down into the hole, and Fleegan, you come down after him. But as you guys kind of work your way in there, and you plop down, and you see that the hole goes down about 8 feet or so, and it opens into an 8-foot by 10-foot dirt-walled room with a 5-foot high ceiling made from the root ball of the dead tree. The musty smell is much stronger here, almost overpoweringly so. It makes your stomach turn. I need each of you to make a Constitution saving throw, please, because it smells so bad. Not Theros, Fleegan.
Is this considered against poison, so I would have my dwarven resilience bonus?
Yes, good call.
So I don't know what I have to do to add to that exactly.
We'll just
Click on
manually add it. Yeah, just click on a Constitution save, and then we'll
Okay.
add that to your roll. Oh, well, that's a good thing.
Yikes.
You as a dwarf were just hardy enough not to get sick. So you both kind of gag a little bit at the smell. And Gror, you're almost to the point to where you're going to actually start puking from the smell, but you kind of catch yourself because your hardiness as a dwarf, you're able to kind of hold it down. But it was to that point where it kind of came up in your throat and the bile was there, and you're like, oh, that was
None in the beard, right? None in the beard. Just
none came
no.
out of your mouth. You just kind of threw up in your throat there a little bit.
Okay.
So. All right. The walls and the ceiling are covered in webs, and a number of small cocoons hang from the ceiling. They appear to contain bats, birds, and other small forest creatures. One cocoon is larger than the others and appears to hold the body of a small human.
Yeah, we're pretty well versed in cutting down people from hanging
From
webs.
spider web cocoons.
Kind
We
of a
might as well
hobby.
cut this one down too.
catch
You
him.
cut it down,
You chop
man.
him down.
The tall dwarf should cut it down.
All right,
I think
I'll
the
chop
tall-
him down.
Oh well.
Okay. All right, you cut it down and you cut it open, and you find the drained, shriveled body of a goblin. I'll show you a picture of it. The skin is stretched over the bones, and there is nothing of value on its corpse. But the goblin's chest has an obvious brand scar.
Does it look like that other symbol we saw on the poster?
Why, yes. Well, not the symbol on the poster, no. But you've seen this symbol before.
The
Yes.
shiners?
No.
No.
Wasn't
Oh, it was on a tree. Wasn't it?
Like by that
Trying
cabin
to
that they burned down?
remember.
It was, somebody give me a history check.
Somebody help them. I'll help them.
I'll help.
That wasn't a very good roll. Somebody else give me a history
Got
check.
somebody inside the tree hole or whatever. Maybe. I don't know.
That was a much,
Much
better,
better.
roll.
Hey,
Fleegan remembers that it was painted on the wall in the cabin that you guys burned down. Because,
Hey,
Oh.
I got that right. I
Ugly
said the one that
picture.
we burned down. It's a stab in the
And,
dark.
that does not really narrow down our adventures.
You're right.
and there was
A lot of
there was
There are
also
the three cabins we burned down.
not long
Oh.
before you not long before you guys got to that cabin, in the woods there was a rock, and it was painted on the rock in the forest.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Oh, that's
That's
right.
the day we
remember.
got
Yeah, the
snickerdoodle
rock.
too. I remember, right?
Yeah, it was not long before you guys found Snickerdoodle.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
A great day.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say this person doesn't deserve this.
Is there anything else of note down here besides small bats?
Give me a perception check, please.
Can I help him, or do I roll also?
No, you don't need to roll.
I got this.
Of course, maybe.
All right, you find a niche in the back of the den, and the niche contains an old leather pouch and a dusty, tarnished scroll tube.
Look at you.
Who knew spiders collect pouches and scroll tubes?
Maybe something else comes in here too, though. There's no egg sacs or anything in here we feel like we'd have to destroy.
Actually, there's not. You kind of would suspect that there might be, but there's not. So
Let's take it outside and I'm gonna kick the goblin's head as we leave.
it breaks off and falls to the ground
Of
gruesomely.
course it does. He's not worthy of a stomp because he wasn't my foe, really, but can't leave him alone like that.
So if we cut one of the mushrooms, like harvest it, does it stop glowing or does it continue to glow?
No, when you cut it, it stops glowing.
Okay.
It kind of fades out a little bit, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then we can't put a bunch of them in a jar and use it as a natural lantern.
No, that won't work. What was that,
Okay.
Fliggin?
I was going to say, let's climb out of the hole and take a look at the skull and what's in the pouch.
Okay. All right. The scroll tube contains a scroll, which I will show to you. Hang on just a second.
Ooh.
For goodness.
Hello.
Sorry about that. You guys saw the cleric scroll there?
I think it's Jewish. I'm not
Yes.
sure. But
Okay. Yeah.
something about shalom on there.
And then inside and I heard that and I'm choosing to ignore it. Inside the pouch are 3 pink amethysts that are worth something, and I'll put all of this inside the chat.
Yay.
An old white rabbit's foot, a polished black river stone, 4 cops. 4 cops. Oh no. 14 sylves and 12 lex.
I don't think the rabbit's foot could be very lucky if it ends up in a spider's hole.
I don't know. That's kind of interesting.
So, is who's taking notes for the treasure stuff?
I got it.
Thank you, sir.
I am doing so.
All right, so congratulations, you found treasure. What are you guys going to do now?
March on.
I would like to look at this scroll.
Okay.
Look
Hand it
at it
over to
while we're marching
Thunder. I
on.
want to play.
You guys heading on?
Yep.
Right. As you prepare to head further down the path, you hear the wolves howl again. First one shattering howl answered by another, and then another. And the howls sound perhaps more excited than before. Can
I don't
I
like
have Can I have Gror and Fleegan give me perception checks, please?
What?
All right, Fleegan, you notice.
Should have had that coffee. That coffee is like apparently helpful.
Yeah, no doubt.
Good stuff, man.
You notice a strange object hanging from a branch, just off to the left of the trail there.
What is the shape of this strange object?
Well, it's weird. It's kind of a haphazard arrangement of several twigs tied together with grass and twine. It forms a triangular pyramid shape that can stand on its own and look somewhat like a stick figure of a humanoid form from certain angles. In the center of it is a bundle of grass and hair, or perhaps fur from an unknown creature, along with some pebbles, acorns, and other natural objects scavenged from the forest.
Hey guys, look at that. That's weird. I don't think it's natural.
There's no
Can
picture,
I
right?
do
I'm
a-
getting spoiled.
History check to see if I've ever heard of any such thing that looks like this.
Okay. History or... yeah, that'll work. Okay.
I would say Arcana, but, you know, I don't do magic. So.
Yeah. No, you never heard anything about what this might be. You said it looks not natural. You actually kind of have a feeling that maybe it is natural, but it's kind of hard to tell. Somebody made it.
It's made out of natural stuff, but it's not natural.
Well, it's not natural. Yeah, like it just didn't
It's
form
organic.
itself, but
It's just not natural.
yeah, yes, that's the right term. Yes. You guys do.
Hey, Theros,
I want to just
dare you to touch it.
search around a little bit more and see if they're, if it belongs to somebody that's lying dead in the bushes here or something.
Okay, give me an investigation check, please.
Oh, somebody should have helped me.
I fully expect somebody to touch it, and there's going to be a rep trap that's going to fling us all
All right.
in the air.
You don't find any dead bodies laying around or anything like that, but you actually do notice that there's actually more than just one of these. There's about 4 of them hanging, 2 on each side of the trail at various locations up in the trees.
So possibly another marker? They're like evenly spaced, or...
They don't look
anything?
evenly spaced. They seem kind of haphazardly laying around. Or not laying around, but haphazardly hung.
They're up
potentially.
high. Like you'd have to be rather tall to hang it up there, or climb in the tree.
Yeah, you'd probably have to climb up in the tree to hang them up there.
Would you think spiders, or would you think ogres reaching up high? Maybe?
That's a question for the party, right? Not for me.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps they're something the ogres and the spiders have used to mark their territory so they don't travel into each other's areas.
Are we still seeing ogre tracks in this area?
You can go ahead and give me a survival check.
Oh god. Everybody hold on.
Watch him roll a natural 20.
Somebody helped.
Yeah.
You see
picking
tracks,
out.
but you're not quite sure what they are. But you do see tracks around.
I'll ask somebody. Hey, what do you think these are?
Tracks.
Impressions
And
in the
Kenneth seemed
ground.
really like super tracker earlier. She might know. Perhaps she missed them and I point them out.
Kenna, did we lose you? have stepped away for a bit.
Nope, sorry, was muted. Been talking this whole
Okay.
time. I was wondering why nobody was responding. Durr.
So what were you saying that we weren't hearing?
That I was going to assist him in the tracking, and that.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
All right. Well, he sees tracks. He doesn't quite know what they are, but you look at him and say, "Yeah, those are some more of the ogre tracks.
Okay.
They're laying around here." But best you can tell, they don't. I mean, they wouldn't indicate whether or not they have anything to do with what's hanging up in the trees here.
Yeah. Do they look about ogre height, or?
One of them could have been hung by an ogre. The other three are up higher. Something that had to either be taller or stand up or get up in the trees to hang them.
Got it. Okay.
Flagon, do you think you can reach one of those if I flung you up there?
I'm still betting that you can touch them more than I can.
The lowest one, can I reach up and touch it, or can I use Graxel to?
You could reach up and touch it if you want to. What are you trying to figure out?
I was going to take it down.
Okay. You have to pull on it a little bit to get the string that's hanging it up there to kind of break off. You pull it down and yeah, it looks like a stick figure from certain angles.
I swear we've seen something like this before.
Was it like
Oh,
at that same time when we were thinking we saw like witch marks, like with that skull thing? Was it something around then?
No, it was back when we were going after the Shiners, I thought.
Was it carved with? Does it look like it was?
I'll be right
carved
back.
with something that was
Alright.
like a good knife, or was it? Does it look like it's just kind of been rubbed together?
What it looks like is little twigs that have been kind of strapped together to make a little humanoid form, and then there's some fur and sticks and.
I think it's just warning us to stay back.
Yeah, it's
Photos.
possibly. So let's go ahead and keep following the tracks and see if we can find some fresh water and some game around here too.
How many in total did we see?
4.
So, we are here to count things. I wonder if someone could have represented how many ogres are down here.
Oh,
It's possible.
it's not a bad idea.
Okay. So what do you want to do?
I say we continue on.
Continue onward.
Yeah, we should stop stuffed animals.
Right. Stuffed animals. Stuffed something. Not really stuffed, but. Alright,
Speaking
so.
of which,
Fine.
how's that bear?
It was quite tasty.
The stuffed animal bear, the teddy bear.
Oh, the bear. No,
That's
he
right.
traded that bear off, didn't he? I thought
Yep.
he it got traded off to the
Yeah,
traveling
he did.
salesman who sold him the
broken
gun that broke the
gun,
first time he used
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Just wondering if the bear ever really came back.
Oh, it didn't come back.
All right. As the player, let's see. The path widens a bit in this area and intersects another path, forming a crossroads with one path running roughly north to south and the other meandering east to west. The wind is calmer here, but you can hear the rustling of leaves above your heads, reminding you that the storm is rapidly approaching. And as you look up at the trail, a huge, unearthly-looking stag slowly walks onto the path, its enormous rack of antlers stretching wide, and the magnificent magnificent spread of razor-sharp points seems to dimly glow in the growing darkness, and it turns its head to regard you. There is a great intelligence behind its eyes.
Don't shoot this one.
Yeah, definitely not. Goro will move up next to Kenna and put his axe away.
Okay?
As a sign. Kind of see if it responds.
Okay. You notice that it watches you as you do so. And then you almost feel as if it gave you a very slight nod when you did such.
I will give it a deep head bow and wait for it to continue on its way before we proceed.
Kimber will get on his knees and start praying to the gods in its presence, hoping that this creature is happy that we killed the strange presence of those spiders, although natural may not be wanted by it in this area.
Okay. All right, Theros, you doing anything?
I'll look at it and regard it.
Okay.
Match its intensity with my own.
Okay. All right. It locks eyes with you, Theros, for a moment, but then shortly thereafter, Kimber falls to his knees and begins to pray. And it shifts its gaze to Kimber, and then seems to lower its head a little bit. And then you hear, in your minds, all of you, but not audibly, a voice that is strong, yet soft, like faraway thunder. And you can tell that it's coming from this creature. And it says, "Hail, children of the Fool. A storm is brewing. Do you not feel it?" And at that moment, you realize that the snow is starting to come down quite a bit heavier than it had been. And it's starting to collect on the ground, as there seems to be not only a dusting, but an accumulation that's starting to fall. And the voice continues. "You are most fortunate this night that the unseelie court of the Nistan Shade has other dealings than with you. What brings you here in these dark times?"
We seek food. We seek to know about the ogres in the area. And we seek fire and water. Firewood and water, sorry.
Of course. And yes, you speak true that there are ogres in the area. I am happy to answer questions that you may have along this subject or others, but I would like to know more about what it is specifically that you are looking for with these ogres, and thereafter I might give you more information about them or any other things about this forest that you might want to know.
Mostly we were just looking to see how many there were and whether they would be a threat to us on the King's Road.
I cannot tell you exactly how many there are, but there are more than a few. They are large. Would I say that they are civilized as yourselves? Maybe not as such, but enough to be knowledgeable about how to make a place for themselves. But they also seem to have allied themselves with those of this world that I dare not desire that you come in contact with. such as those that the Unseelie have seemed to have joined with. But the Unseelie this night are celebrating some dark pact that they made recently with those that they allied with. A powerful Dunahadrin priestess. It is an unholy alliance that can only bring death and destruction to all in its wake.
Gror fumbles for the Fool Stone gently, not abruptly, and tries to show it to the creature and says, in his head, I guess, "We are protectors of our people, and we only wish to keep them safe. We have heard of the Unseelie Court, but we don't know anything about them. Can you tell us more of their danger?"
Young one, you are wise to ask such questions, and yes, I know quite well of which the stone protects you from, as it is an artifact of Jinx. Now, the Unseelie, as you know, as you said you know of them, being the Faori of this realm being of two courts, the Seelie and the Unseelie. Unfortunately, the Dark Unseelie in this place, as I said, have for one reason or another allied themselves with this Dark Priestess. I don't know exactly what is the plan, but there are dark things upon the horizon and dark days coming. And this is but a glimpse and a intro to what is to come. So there are dark tidings in this alliance. I would say stay clear of the Unseelie, for they are more powerful than you can even imagine. And in their alliance, they're even more powerful.
I have a personal question.
He nods, or it nods, I guess.
I am Fey touched. Do you know which court it is that has touched my being, my existence? Am I of the Seelie or the Unseelie?
Mm-hmm. Give me a perception check, please.
Yeah. Nat 20.
Nice. I like it. You feel very confident that the countenance of this creature changes very soft and welcoming at this point, as if there was almost a sadness to its face. It says, "Dear youngling, you have asked a most appropriate question, and you have done it in a way that honors those who have come before you. And so I will say with great confidence that I feel that within you is the touch of the Seelie. So therefore you may rest easy. But know that that also doesn't bring with it difficulties in this world. So tread lightly and keep that secret close, as many may not look kindly upon that."
Thank you.
Or asks, "Mighty Spirit, will our people be safe here, and could you direct us to any food for them? Or should we be moving along then quickly? Or after a brief rest, are we okay for a day or two?"
I would answer that with, I do not see the future, so I do not know what assistance I can give you in the knowledge of this, but I would say that there are springs in this forest that provide clean and clear water that you may drink. And just to the south along the path here at this crossroads, there is an old downed tree that would be quite useful for firewood. Plus, it would do us a service in this forest if you were to clear that out for us. And then as far as food, there are many deer, of which we know that they have a place in this world, and their place, in a lot of cases, is they're part of the cycle of life. And so therefore, when the time comes, I will find a way to steer them across your path so that you may be able to procure them for the food and sustenance that you may seek.
We will only take.
I
that
would
which we
say
need.
be wary of the mushrooms of this forest, for some are not for you to consume. I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, I said we will only take as much as we need, not any more.
I believe what you say. And I will also say, there is an old tower in this place of great evil. It was once the abode of a mad high elven witch of significant power. It cannot be entered without a special charm, and it is guarded with powerful fell magics. It is to the north on this path. I would recommend that you steer clear of that.
Agreed.
And as to the ogres, they den to the southwest of here. I would not recommend that you go near them.
Great beast. When we go back to our people and tell them of our adventure, whom shall we say we spoke with? What is your name?
I'm going to put this name in here because I'm going to butcher it.
Salhava Saf Allah Anala. Works for me.
Safal Anea. Safal Anea.
And Great Beast, do you know of a place of Drag Du Naga?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
I'm going to ask him in my storyline the location where I'm looking before my 21st birthday. Drag Du Naga.
Dragnu. The question of which you speak is not for you to know the answer of at this time. But my child, I know, not my child, but youngling, I know there will be a time coming soon where you will find out more of what you seek. So trust in that. But there are bigger things to come that you must know, that you must be a part of. That's a good question.
I figured it's.
I wasn't ready for that, but that was a good question.
I
will reward you. I will reward you for that. Just keep that in mind, okay?
All right.
He wants to piggyback, but not with the map, because he's positive, animals don't know about maps. Other comments. He slowly steps forward and he says, "Great Spirit, I have some malady striking my chest, and I know not what the cause is. Can you tell me of this, its source?"
Approach. Do not be afraid.
Wow.
Be afraid. Be afraid.
Do you approach it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, as you walk close, it trots over to you, and it puts the tip of its muzzle to your chest, and you feel a warmth, but a calming sensation corrodes through your body, and then a tightening as your chest that becomes increasingly painful. And then, as quickly as it comes upon you, it's almost as if you feel a snap within your chest. A glow illuminates from your chest, flies up into the forest, and drifts off away out of sight. And he says, "You are cleansed. Speak of it no more."
He says, "Thank you, Great Spirit," and he, kneels before him, bows his head.
You have done good things, and your respect has been rewarded.
Great Beast, is there anything that you require from us? Anything that you need?
Friends, I must now depart, but I ask of you that you find the ogres in these woods who are killing my children with no thought, oftentimes merely for sport, and leaving their bodies to rot. Now, as I said, I would not go near their den, but I would ask that you find them, and even if it is within their den, if you will do this for me, I wish them to be slain.
What is their numbers, Great Spirit?
I can answer that. I just don't know it off the top of my head. Hang on a second. Second.
There's only 3 dozen. We got this.
Yeah, I'm putting the over-under at like 19. I don't know. Taking bets here. Come on.
Okay, there it is. There it is. I believe there could be more, but I know of at least 5.
5. Okay. I can take at least 2. Gror, you've got 1, right?
I don't know. Maybe a third of one.
Got one.
Okay.
Well, Fleegan can
Fleegan
probably
probably take care of a
toes.
couple of them.
Yeah, he can probably get like 6, and then
Yeah,
we'll be done.
Yeah, so we can, yeah.
I'll kill a third of one.
But I said I must go.
Of course, great being. We appreciate everything that you have brought to us, and we look forward to this service to you.
Quimber will finally stand to watch it go and thank the wise, beautiful spirit of the wood for all it has told us and given. Its gifts of the forest and cleansing of Gror's affliction. And we will, I'm sure, do as best we can to remove these ogres from the forest.
It nods its head, and then it looks at 2 of you. Okay, in lieu of GUI reward, I need each of you to roll a d20, please. All right. It's like Kimber and Fleegan, or hold on, Kimber and Gror have the highest rolls. Kimber and Gror. Actually, we're going to go with Kember and Fleegan because what he did for Roar. So Kember and Fleegan, he looks at each of you, and you feel an odd sensation in your body of you feel quite brilliant. And he has basically cast false life on each of you.
Ooh.
So that's Fleegan and Kember.
You sure that's not the coffee talking there?
Could be.
It could be. It could be. But you're welcome to look that up. It is basically temporary hit points that you'll carry with you. So make sure that you add those to your character sheet, however you wanted to keep track of that. And then, without saying another word, he nods and he bounds away into the forest. And you don't necessarily see him disappear within the forest as much as he fades away as he enters into the forest.
Of course.
And with that, my friends, it is time for us to be done for the evening. But well done with the forest spirit. That was a good approach. So you handled that quite well.
Good info.
Yeah, awesome, guys.
Yeah. So, it was a wonderful time back. I appreciate you all for hanging with the opportunity during the hiatus to reconvene and jump into it and coming back in with your same intensity and spirit as you always do. It was quite a fun time for me, and I really needed that, and that gives me the energy and the perseverance to really dig into it and make this happen more often than not. So for those who are watching us, this has been session 6 of the Coldest of Blood. We will continue on this chapter, and we hope that you will catch us again in our next episode. And between now and then, we say, may all of your adventures be sticky. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Night.